is up, ladies and gentlemen? So today we're going to start episode 1 of my version of the world. So this is going to be different than the actual world. It's actually going to be a lot different than the actual world. So it's basically going to be my version of the world. So we're going to start with episode 1. So let's begin. So we have right here, Russia is at war with Ukraine. But Ukraine has help. Poland is tired of Russia. And actually, I think Belarus is going to join them. Wait, is that Belarus? I don't know. Okay, yes, that is Belarus. So Russia has a lot of enemies this time. So Russia, you know, they're kind of trying their hardest. You know, they're pushing into Belarus and Ukraine. This is where Poland comes in. So you see, they're pushing back. This is where Poland comes in. Poland has an army. So does Belarus. And so does Ukraine. They all gather right here. And they all storm Russia. They take a big chunk of Russia. Then they, you know, go right there. And on their way there, their goal is to banish Russia from Europe. That is their number one goal. To banish Russia from Europe. And they get there. They banish Russia from Europe with their combined strength. Russia is not happy about this. They're not pleased. So Russia is going to actually form an alliance with a bunch of other countries like China and North Korea to get back on Ukraine and all of them. Meanwhile, over here in America, it's falling apart. See, this is what's left of America. Texas, Hawaii, and Alaska have all rebelled. I'm coloring some countries the same color just to show that they're like in an alliance. Or like they're on the same side in a war. So America's pretty much falling apart. Texas is using a genius plan to outsmart America, which is get the hearts of the people. So they're getting the hearts of the people, so the people want Texas to win. So Texas gets more money. Alaska's plan is to just outlive America. They take a little chunk. And then Hawaii, they straight up want revenge. Hawaii goes in for a chunk. They get pretty much all of California. The USA is completely falling apart. And all of a sudden, Florida man shows up. Oh, once Florida man shows up, USA, it's over. It's over. Florida just sweeps. They want long Florida. Bye-bye, Texas. Florida begins conquering. Well, not yet. They only conquer a small section of America. America, on the edge of falling, does a peace treaty. It basically allows Texas to get all of this. I'm actually going to color Texas bright blue. Hawaii for pineapples. I'm going to make them yellow. So we have now America is split up. But meanwhile, back over here in Europe, Russia, they're like growing their strength and military. They get Kazakhstan. they recruit all of the stands. You know, I think bees are pretty much all of them. They also recruit India. So that's Russia's side. No. Now over here, this like semi-NATO. They get Ireland and Turkey. So, yeah, they get Ireland, Turkey. They're also able to get Cyprus on their team. And a key member to all of this, they get Italy and San Marino. Okay, so that's Ukraine's side. That's the semi-NATO. We're going over here in Oceania. Australia. This is the Great Australian Civil War. Oh yeah, by the way, New Zealand is just there. New Zealand's just watching from a distance. So, this part of Australia, they want to join the, they want to be a communist. They want to join Russia. The other side doesn't. Now, this side is much larger. So, but at first, this side begins like taking a bunch of stuff. They even go like right there. But once Australia finds out what's happening, they begin a counterattack. They begin to get their armies to surround areas until they surrender. They're even able to get this area right here back. But then there's a stalemate. Because that's when New Zealand enters. New Zealand is also, well, kind of in the middle of a crisis. They're getting colonized by Russia. And the Russia part of New Zealand, see this is South New Zealand and North New Zealand. Now, North New Zealand is giving goods to the bad side of Australia, the communists. But the South New Zealand is giving goods to Australia. Now, this New Zealand is actually in war with this, so they actually reclaim that island for Australia. But they want to keep it. So these new goods, Australia is able to do a lot more stuff, but Russia is actually giving more because they want the big boy. Now, word finally reaches these guys, and hearing what's going on in Australia, they join. Okay, they join. They give Australia they get a big army, and they just conquer. Well, it's not like that. They almost conquer because Russia and all these guys gather an army right here. Now, Australia allows them to be independent. But let me just fix these nice borders. But they must only talk with Russia, and like Russia must not mess with them. So the war's over. Okay, the civil war's over. The last thing that's gonna happen in this video, guys, is actually gonna be kind of surprising. So if we go right here to Britain, in Britain, Ireland gets Northern Ireland because, you know, these guys convinced Britain. But Britain will join them. But these guys actually over here, I forgot about you, like what this guy is. But over here is where we're going to see the final union of the episode. The Baltic Union. See all these Baltic states? Yeah, they're unifying. This is the Baltic Union. They're going to be much important later. But right now, all they're really doing is they were formed to pretty much maintain their newfound like control or like funds coming from Norway and Sweden. Norway and Sweden are kind of a part of them. I'm going to make them similar colors, but they're not truly a part of them. Those guys are just funding them. So see, they're kind of similar. They're just funding them. Okay, the Union is there to maintain that. But actually later it's actually going to be kind of a, like, military thing. Okay, that's it for episode 1. I'll see you guys in the next one.